Welcome back to Flawed and Fabulous, the podcast where we keep it real about work-life balance for creatives. And I'm here to help you navigate the messy but magical journey of making art and making peace with yourself. Because let's face it, being a creative often feels like a juggling act where you are constantly dropping balls labeled authenticity, success, and sanity. But here's the secret. They don't all need to stay in the air. Sometimes the way to balance is through self-acceptance. Today we are diving into external validation, authenticity, and the cost of trying to be everything to everyone. And we are using the movie Substance as our metaphorical punching bag. If you haven't seen it, here's the short version. Ella, a talented but struggling artist, loses herself while chasing approval from critics, peers, and anyone with an opinion. By the end, she's burned out, disconnected from her craft, and wondering why her success feels so hollow. Sound familiar? Actors, let's talk auditions. You prep, you bring your best, and then someone says, "Can you try it with more energy?" Suddenly, you're overthinking every gesture, every word, and every breath. Writers, how many times have you poured your soul into a piece only to hear, "It's great, but could we make it more commercial?" And designers, raise your hand if your boldest concept have been rejected with the phrase, "It just doesn't feel on brand." By the way, my hand is in the air. Before you know it, you're no longer creating, you're performing for approval. Ella's journey in Substance mirrors what so many of us go through. At first, she's grounded in her passion, but the second she faces rejection, she starts second-guessing herself. She abandons her style for what she thinks people want. She skips personal events, pulls all-nighters, and works herself into a frenzy because she's convinced that success is just around the corner if she can win everyone over. Here's the thing. When you're chasing external validation, success is a moving target. You'll never reach it because the goalposts keep shifting. The applause you're chasing, it's temporary. It feels good in the moment, but it doesn't last. And when you've built your entire sense of self-worth on what others think, what happens when the applause stops? One of the hardest truths about being a creative is that you can't please everyone. Not your audience, not your critics, not even your peers. And that's okay. Your job isn't to be liked. Your job is to tell the truth, your truth. But that truth gets harder to hear when you're drowning in noise, whether it's feedback from others or the inner critic in your head screaming, "You are not enough." And let's talk about balance. Ella loses her entirely, and it's no wonder. When you're hustling for validation, you're constantly overextending yourself, skipping rest, neglecting relationship, and convincing yourself it's all worth it for the craft. But burnout isn't a badge of honor. It's your body's way of saying, "Hey, maybe this isn't sustainable." Balance doesn't mean doing it all. It means knowing when to let go. Maybe that means saying no to a project that doesn't align with your values. Maybe it's carving out time for yourself, time to rest, time to play, or time to create without worrying about whether it's good enough. Balance is about learning to be enough for yourself even when the world isn't clapping. Finally, let's touch on authenticity, the thing everyone says they won't until they actually see it. People will tell you to be yourself, but often what they mean is be yourself as long as it's marketable. Actors, it's the industry pushing you into a type. Writers, it's the pressure to write what sells instead of what matters to you. Designers, it's clients wanting edgy, but only in a way that feels safe. Staying true to yourself in a world that constantly wants to shape you, that's the real challenge. Here's the takeaway. Self-acceptance is the foundation of balance. When you stop outsourcing your worth to the crowd, you free yourself to create authentically. That doesn't mean you won't face rejection or criticism. You will, I'm sorry. But it means that those things won't define you. Your art, your worth, your joy, they are yours. So, if you are feeling like Ella, spiraling in the search for validation, take a step back. Ask yourself, who am I doing this for? And is this worth the cost? Your craft deserves your best, but so do you. Thanks for joining me on this episode of Flawed and Fabulous. Until next time, keep creating, keep balancing, and most importantly, keep being you, flaws and all. I love you all, and there is nothing you can do about it. See you around. Bye.